Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Tristan Walter.
And what are we doing today, Tristan?
We are covering episodes 4 and 5 of Dragon Ball Super.
Good, I wanted to get him on that, where it's just like, episodes 4, I mean 5, I mean both. Because last week we weren't able to do it.
2 and 3, 6 and 7.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Yeah. Last week we were unable to do Super, which was funny because last week, strangely enough, on the Friday that we normally do Super, was our 1-year anniversary for doing the Battle of Gods podcast theatrically, which is, the theatrical, not us doing it in the theater, the actual Battle of Gods theatrical cut, which is really interesting. It's like, wow, man, time has gone by.
Yep. And it threw off Matt's feng shui like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I was like, wow. That's why, it's totally why I couldn't do it. I was sitting there going, wow, time, man. No, I forgot why I couldn't do it last week, to be fair. Like, I completely forgot. I think it's because we were filming soon after, you and I, and then myself and another person, we were filming for some future, TG, those kind of projects. So, it completely threw me off.
Not like we just took a break for nothing. We're still working.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's just like Matt took a break from work to do more work. Boy. But that's just how that's my life right now, for frick's sake. Just Matt took a break from work to do more work. But so looking at these episodes, right? We didn't do 4, we didn't do 5. We're still gonna talk about them in some kind of order like we usually do. But just saying overall, right now, it's crazy. Right, to think about how how the series has come at this point, right? Where we do these usually week by week, episode 1, 2, 3, etc. So looking at these episodes, the way it's come up, it's culminated. It's a very weird recipe.
Right.
We said it last episode that we did.
Yeah.
It was last week. Wrong. It's a very weird recipe, and I don't want to get too into it right now, but, isn't it weird that, they've kind of shifted into, let's give them new stuff, but at the same time, it's hard for us to give them new stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like they gave it their best shot to, kind of mix it up a little bit, but in the end, it is still, a retelling of Battle of Gods, so...
Yeah. So it's really, really hard to kind of get invested, I think. I mean, I love Battle of Gods. That's the thing. I love Battle of Gods. But, and it's funny, some might say, and I said this even last week, some might say, oh, you're just really mad at your theory being wrong. No, I'm not. I've accepted it. I sat down and gone, all right. So they weren't going to redo video. They weren't going to re-show, re-air Battle of Gods, nor were they going to go for an alternate-ish thing. When I say alternate, in the sense that it's let's deal with what other people were doing while other people were fighting. As in, let's look at the party and have some fun, slice of life fun, while Goku's fighting Beerus. Because you already saw Goku fight Beerus. Right?
Right.
So they didn't do either of those things. They thought, let's show Goku fighting Beerus and just give him another form and kind of extend the fight. Which, we like fights, to be fair, right? And it was the first fight in the series, in Episode 5. I mean, the first large fight in the series in Episode 5.
Technically,
yes, in this series, of course, in Super. So, I mean, I understand, hey, let's show that. But it's weird to me because, as you just said, it's still, as we said before the show even began, it's still a retelling.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's still a retelling of the show.
Yeah.
Of the movie in the show. So, I do think that there's, a bunch of different people in different camps, just, and compared to who's watching the show still and who isn't. Now, it's funny, I say that, in Japan, it's Dragon Ball. It's being watched, right? Let's be very clear. I mean everyone else around the world that, even though technically the show is really only being released in Japan, the idea is, there are alternative means of watching, of course, there are usually, means of watching it through Funimation or even Crunchyroll. But if Funimation does pick this up for, some kind of simulcast, or even Funimation picks it up for the dub, while it is still Dragon Ball, I don't know how inclined some people, how comfortable they would feel with shelling out money for it. Even though, again, we love Dragon Ball, and I think you and I would, to be fair, right? That's just how much we love it. But there are, there are people. It's one of those things where people went to theaters to see Battle of Gods and even Resurrection of F, because that's just like, hey, that's so cool, a one-off event and everything. But to think of, DVD merchandising sales and stuff like that, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, buy Battle of Gods again, but slightly different.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I've just taken it as, they're still building up. They're retelling a part of the series that's been shown in the movie, but they're trying to go about it a little bit differently. They still have, there's some pretty witty, one-offs between, or just Whis himself or between Whis and Beerus. There's still some good lines. It's not like they're not trying to still make a good episode. It's just, it's difficult to draw the audience in when it already knows what's going on. And it kind of makes it feel like it... Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it kind of just makes it feel like it's dragging a little bit, But obviously, it isn't, I understand that it's going to take some time to get back into, something new is happening. And, while I want something new to happen as fast as possible, I understand they need to take time to kind of set the stage for the series itself, even if the movie has come out. So I'm okay with waiting. That's just me personally.
Oh, yes. The way that I look at it, from a storytelling perspective, I do think that these episodes were good in terms of, of the actual script that was used. I liked it. It was really funny. It felt like Dragon Ball. I did like what they were doing. And hell, I understand how, episode 4, hey, introduce Pilaf. I got his name right, thank God. I've been saying Garlic Jr. for the past 2 weeks, on and off, and I've been so mad. But the Pilaf, it makes sense, right? Yeah, Pilaf, okay, he's in the movie, How they introduced him, not a big fan, and we'll talk about that when we get into the episode itself. Okay, Beerus, of course. You do have to build up Beerus. The thing is, okay, here's how I look at it, right? Yes, Battle of Gods came out 2 years ago, which is a while, to be fair. But it does feel weird because, when you look at a lot of, a lot of stuff from, let's say, Dragon Ball Z, even Digimon, Super Sentai, which is Japanese, the original version of Power Rangers before it was adapted into Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, which has become Kamen Rider Dragon Knight and Masked Rider, or Masked Rider, if you remember that, the way it was said that way. The point is that when you need to explain something to a kid or to someone who just doesn't know about it and they're kind of just getting into it, there are easy ways to do that, and it happens, right? Because guess what? If I was trying to get you into Kamen Rider or Super Sentai, Tristan, which is kind of funny because I have shown you clips here and there, if I showed you one of the big anniversary movies, right, they would, you'd see a character, and you'd either have me pausing it, okay, here's who that guy is. Or the movie itself will have the guy announce himself saying, I'm this guy. And everyone's like, oh, that's right, you were part of the 35th team. And, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, yeah. And so you're sitting there, and even though you might not know his history, you're like, okay, that's his name, that's his rank, that's who he is, So you're able to acknowledge it all.
Right.
But think about it, right? Not the 35th team. That happened fairly recently. But if you're thinking about a team that came out in, the 1980s, kids or people new to the program aren't going to remember or know about it unless they've actively gone back and searched. So that's understandable. 1980s, 1970s, 1990s even. It sucks because we were born in the 90s, but 90s even. Hell, even early 2000s. Again, it sucks because we were around, but it's understandable. The movie came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So to kind of get into this so early, it's just one of those things where if they had re-aired it, I know some people would have immediately been turned off. But hindsight 2020, right? In hindsight, this makes sense. We would have rather gone. I mean, personally, I would have rather gone with them showing Battle of Gods again, and you and I just taking a month off. It sucks. We want to podcast about as much Super as we can, and you're going to Africa soon. but we can take a break. We can go off and podcast about other things. Again, break, it just means more work elsewhere. And, right? But still, that's just how it would have gone. Instead, it's just we're here doing something we love. Which, right? Instead, we're doing something we really love, damn it. But, but in a way, it does feel strange because we are sitting here still going over the same details with minor differences, thinking, is it worth it for them to do it? Not is it worth it for us, because, again, we love Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it'll always be worth it for us.
Yeah, but is it worth it for them to do it? Because, yes, in Japan, you might say, they're always going to watch, it'll never go away. I might have to raise you a GT.
Oh, God.
Right? I might have to pull a GT in my back from my back pocket, my back pocket closest to my ass. Pull a GT out of my back pocket and show you a GT. Because even though this is doing the anti-GT, where GT was like, quickly, throw them everything new. And this is like, actually, let's go slice of life and rehash things.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the exact way to go as well. Like, I don't know if, there has to be a happy medium.
Well, I'll take that over GT any day, so.
I know, but, at least that was new content.
Yeah, well, I mean, personally, I like the slice of life, angle for Dragon Ball. I did like the slice of life. To be fair. Oh God, no, we're not. To be fair, I do like the slice of life how it started out, but then I thought, they're gonna rev things up. Right.
And it's the problem when their version of revving things up was showing what you've already seen again. If you liked it the first time, you'll probably like it again. Well, we would have, so you should have probably just shown us. Because also, when you think about it like this too, they have to work on this. So that's work that they actually have to do. They're rehashing in terms of, using the word rehashing, is referring to the certain general plot ideas that some people could just generalize and go, I already saw it, but they're actually working on, drawing and writing. So much work is being done on this, to be fair. So that's why I worry if it's not exactly a waste, but if it was better for the resources to just try your hardest to get, to have the ability to just re-air Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
And then kind of ease right back into Super. Do your Super thing for a bit. And maybe then I'd understand if they were like, you know what, let's adapt Resurrection of F because it just aired in theaters. Let's pretend, right? Just aired in theaters. We don't want to give them a free showing when people might feel gypped because they just went to go pay for it.
Right.
So I'd understand if they were like, all right, we'll adapt it now. We'll adapt Resurrection of F the way they did Battle of Gods. But to have Battle of Gods be done this way, it just feels a bit off to me, as we've already mentioned.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it could either be a long time, like months, until they get to the events of, Fukkatsu no F, or they could do it, within a month. Go a few episodes, then have a reaccounting of what happened then. Because, I won't, I know people have probably seen it already, but I won't spoil anything big on air.
Please don't.
Everyone gets some, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Goku and Vegeta both get some pretty comprehensive power spikes. I'll just put it that way.
I know. No, I know. I'm only laughing because all I hear in my head is, the age of Super Saiyan Krillin God begins!
Oh, God.
No, Oolong pops out. Don't forget Super Pig Bacon Oolong. Yajirobe. I'm still doing stuff too, man.
Now.
Yeah, no, Yajirobe comes out. I got myself some samurai armor, dude.
He's the Bean Daddy.
Yeah. Oren, I'm still a cat, but I make sensu beans, so
I'll never go out of fashion.
Basically, yeah. But seriously, though, it's like, when you said everyone, I was just like, Videl, baby's giving me superpowers.
Yeah.
She's pregnant with the Super Saiyan. I wonder if that boosts her energy a little bit.
Oh, jeez. Well, you know what? If everybody just drank, a bit of Super Kami water, or what was it? That was
Wait,
like a whole
right,
item
no,
in the
Goku
game.
actually had it. I was about to be like,
The sacred water.
Me, you're talking about the vampire water? The vampire mist.
Oh, God. Yeah, let everybody become evil. Let's see how that goes.
If that hasn't happened enough already.
Oh, fan fiction.
Yeah, no, but seriously, we were, God, I've lost track. No, you're talking about Resurrection of F. I think it'll take way longer than a month because, okay, I mean, isn't it running in Japan as well? Like, okay,
right.
It came to American theaters, right? But isn't it also running in Japan? Like, they didn't wait as long as they did the last time. Not that the last time was long. I mean, coming from you and I and what we went through as when we were younger, I don't think we should say that a year is too long, right? But they waited about a year until, Battle of Gods was on DVD in Japan, I believe, or at least in theaters already in Japan.
Before they did a theatrical release for us.
Yeah, here. But in the U.S. But I'm pretty sure that, that Fukatsu no F, Revival of F, Resurrection of F, just that F guy, man.
It was probably, I think it was only about a month at most, or a few weeks delay before they actually did a theatrical release for the U.S. compared to Japan.
And I think they, they still aren't, right? Didn't it just stop like yesterday?
It might have. I'm pretty sure it came out in Japan early July.
Right.
So, yeah, about a month.
Yeah, so the point is that,
August,
just like in
early August.
Yeah. Just like in the U.S., if a movie does well, they're not going to rip it.
Yeah.
So in other words, I'm sorry, when I say the word rip, I mean they're not going to take it out of theaters. So if the movie's still in theaters, they're probably going to do everything they can to not really have it be adapted yet, because you're going to get a free version on TV. So that's what I was saying before. It makes people that, I don't know if I did this to you on the podcast or just before you and I were just talking, they're going to look at it, and they're getting, people that are watching, and they're going to say, well, I don't have to go see, Revival of F now, or, I just saw this. Why are you replaying it? I feel ripped off. And then you might not want to see the next DBZ theater event because all of a sudden you're I'll wait till Super does it.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
really, if you paid,
yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. There's a difference between you saying I want to see like Doctor Who in theaters, right? I want to see it in theaters, versus I went to see this because it was promised to be the Doctor Who movie in theaters, and then a month later I saw it on TV.
Well, I mean,
we chose to go see the Doctor Who 50th in theaters because they said, hey, if you want to go see it in theaters, you can. But we also had the option of seeing it at home. But we chose because they said, hey, if you want to. But if they exclusively said, hey, this is coming out theatrically, and then 1 month later, and it's like, you can watch it on TV for free. Not that you're paying for like video on demand. You're getting it for free.
Right.
Like, I know we love Dragon Ball Z a lot, but some people would be upset.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, if it came out in theaters first, I would say people would still see it, like, and then the month later on TV, I don't think, I mean, they might skip an episode, but I think that would be better than if they did it in reverse. Like, it came out on TV first, and then it was in theaters, then I would be inclined to agree, people might not see it.
No, well, no. Okay, well, no, you misunderstand. Here's what I mean that, though. What I'm trying to say is if you think about it like this, right? This movie would be safe. It's future movies that wouldn't be safe. That's what I'm trying to say. Future movies would have an issue. This movie's safe because people already saw it. It's the next movie that's going to have a huge issue. That's what I'm trying to say. This one's fine, right? Everyone's already seen it. But all of a sudden, if it happens in this movie, and mind you, it's totally going to adapt it, but like 2 months from now, maybe 3 even, right? But having it happen now is where I think, like a month from now is where it's only been in theaters technically 2 months, So I really think that they are going to end up having, this whole recap thing happen. Then they're going to wait about maybe 2 months until.
Right.
Maybe 2, maybe 3. And then they'll end up, having that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think, personally.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
So yeah. I mean, that's just me personally. I do feel like it'll happen, but not too soon, so that it doesn't really throw anyone off in terms of what they purchased. But anyway, so talking about the episodes themselves, right? What did you think about episode 4?
Episode 4, I really liked that they kind of threw in Pilaf. Just, I don't know, it was just kind of, funny and whimsical, like, Dragon Ball always used to be, but that, I guess, there are a few characters in the series that kind of get glossed over and you don't see much of or ever again. But they kind of like reached back in and said, who can we pull out that's still kicking around that we can kind of mix into the plot here? And I don't know, the adventures of Pilaf and his two friends, Mai and Shu, are always, I don't know, just the three of them have a, comical dynamic that doesn't get old, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Like, it's funny how they talk about they ended up on a desert, an island out in the middle of the ocean because Pilaf bought a treasure map, a cheap one that said, treasure here, and Mai's just like, you idiot! How could you trust this? And then Shu, of course, coming out, I'm dying of hunger. Hello? Why doesn't anyone listen to me?
Yeah, this was a very interesting way to reintroduce them. I do, again, like, the script is hilarious. That Shark was clearly under the influence of drugs, if not had already been a drug user for years. But the way I feel about the way they were introduced, I wasn't a huge fan because, in the movie, and now it's funny how usually we reverse it. So yes, like in the show this is cool, but in the movie it's just so weird. Now it's the reverse. The movie was so logical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was logical. Bulma was having a party at her house, right? I mean, this is fun Dragon Ball humor, to be fair, and I love Dragon Ball humor. But just in terms of the fact that they have two versions and one made a lot more sense kind of gets to me where, in the movie she's having this party at her house. You assume that it makes sense that it's at her house, that people found her at her house because her house is pretty much public knowledge. I mean, Goku got there. Yeah, a police officer helped him, but Goku got there, and she's famous.
Right.
People know where her house is. So Pilaf finding his way into her home makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But having this happen is kind of just like, it's kind of like a cute little, like, what are the odds?
Yeah.
But it still feels weird.
I mean, it kind of felt funny for me because, like you said, it does feel like, what are the odds? But it's also kind of like, I mean, I feel like it's later, a little bit later when they actually get on the ship, like, I feel it was their, I don't know, it's like that beck and call that once in a life, maybe not once in a lifetime, but that once in a blue moon kind of miracle thing, like something good actually happens when you're really, down. And,
That's
I mean,
true.
it's funny.
But they are evil.
Like, they are villains, technically. So, I shouldn't be like, every dog has his day because, they're evil. But it's just like they were the first villains introduced in Dragon Ball, so I really feel like no matter what, they're really not that much of a threat. I mean, granted, with the Dragon Balls, they could do anything, but...
Yes. And also, it's just really funny. Technically, we learn from, Shenron himself, or Shenlong, himself, or itself, that technically they can't do anything. Like, they can do things, but they can't say, I wish Goku died. Cause, I mean, while Shenron's, like, eternal, apparently he couldn't destroy the Saiyans.
Right.
So
I'm pretty sure he can't blow up Goku.
Who is on his way to being a god himself. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, it's more of like if Pilaf was like, I want to be the emperor of the world, and he takes, if he legit took over. It's like, obviously everyone would step in and be like, okay, this ain't cool. I mean...
No, I think he'd have to wish for immortality. There's 2 wishes now, so he'd have to wish for immortality. He'd probably be like, I wish I was emperor of the world. What is your second wish? Like, wait, there's another? Like, he'd be so confused. Because he'd have to wish to rule the world and have immortality. Also, ruling the world is like a weird thing where he was like, if he says rule the world, everyone adores him and everyone's under Pilaf. If he says he wants to be the emperor, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone is under Pilaf. It just means that he gets to rule it. Like, it's a weird, I feel like it's like a weird monkey's paw kind of thing. Where it's like, he gets the chance to be the ruler of the world, doesn't mean that, people have to completely submit to his will. And unless he's immortal, people will try to kill him. Because he's the emperor of the world. Yeah.
And it's funny. I would say, it would be okay if Pilaf wasn't a complete idiot and is not, fit to rule. Like, could you imagine that if he just if he was the person who would usher in another golden age or something, along the lines of for the Dragon Ball universe? That would be hysterical.
You know what's really funny? Just I am the emperor of the world. I rule everything. Beerus comes down.
Oh, jeez.
Is that so?
Yeah.
So you're the one I have to talk to about everything? I mean, she's the emperor of the world. Just
no, man. I don't want it.
The dog rules the world. He just barks. He doesn't even speak human words. He just barks.
Yeah, right. Oh, jeez.
I'm a dog. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a dog. But anyway, no, so it was really fun. And to be fair, the kids would let them on. So again, and it makes sense for what they gave, for what they said. Hey, this is happening, so this makes sense.
Yeah.
And it really did, to be fair. It's just one of those things where it felt weird because, we know the other outcome, and it really made a lot of sense, just logically. Logically, it's like progression. It made sense. Hey, he's at her house. Well, why would he be at her house? Her house she's famous, public knowledge, et cetera. You can easily find out where her house is. And from that logic, find the Dragon Ball. Why does Bulma have better security? She has all the security she wants to in her home, right? And to be fair, when you surround yourself with superhumans...
I have a Vegeta, and my friends are all friggin' superhumans. I think I'm good.
Hell, a kid could get shot in the face, and he'd be just fine.
Although, to be fair, Videl still got shot in the leg, so...
Yes, but still, in the face, though, Trunks getting shot in the face is just fine. Let's all think about that. He's at a level, he's at Super Saiyan already. He can't really control it in a one-on-one fight, so he's not the best fighter. But compared to human technology, kid could take the cannon to the... He's fine. So what kind of security do you need, really?
Right.
Against Pilaf? Probably how he got it. He just walked through. He just kind of snuck around. Yeah. He's small, But anywho, so talking about the episode, getting a little past that. So we realized that we are getting Vegeta, apparently.
Yeah.
Which was new to us. Because at first it was I guess no Vegeta, and it kind of made sense, where it was a big thing to have him there. But if you want to make the movie go faster, because you're adapting it, you don't have Vegeta there. We do have them there. We have a woman that works at Capsule Corp, which I do like. I do like seeing her because it's some nice world building, personally. But it's kind of like, oh, so we are getting Vegeta. So it feels like what we got before was just filler. You know? Like, it's all canon.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the show is canon, but out of nowhere it kind of feels like actually filler now in the sense of filler as in we needed something to kill time.
Right.
And that's what kind of sucks. It's like, hey, we had to kill time, guys, which I understand. Shows do need to do sometimes, but I don't know, it's weird. Like, maybe I'm just wrong. Let's be shit on GT, and we do it a lot. Did GT ever feel like they had to, quote-unquote, kill time sometimes? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure every show has done it. Really? Because it felt like things just happen. I'm not saying you like things that happen, but things just happen. They did? They killed time a lot?
To me, yes.
Okay. I haven't
seen it in a while, but I specifically remember sitting there for, times on end, are you kidding me?
No, I mean, stretching things out, yes. I'm talking about not stretching things out exactly, but, adding in scenes, where it's just let's throw in, Vegeta's not at the party? Actually, he's coming to the party. Vegeta's at the party. I know they stretched out some things, but I will admit, I was sometimes, and to be fair, I was stop fight him. Punch him in the fight, face. Fight him.
Yeah.
But I mean, episode 4 was one of those transitional episodes, obviously, right? But, it transitioned into a pretty good episode 5, I would argue. Again, minus what we're about to talk about. But, but overall, right? So episode 4, what do you, again, we talked about it a little bit here and there. What do you think about it in terms of, do you think it's the best out of the series so far, the worst?
I mean, I wouldn't say either or. I mean, it was good.
It was there. It was an episode.
Yeah.
It was made.
I mean, I personally liked, the episode made it for me when, Trunks and Goten were just talking to Pilaf and Mai and Shu and just offering them food, and them, Pilaf trying to not sink so low and take food from children. But it's just Mai and Shu no, please, we need food. Please let us eat.
That's funny, yeah.
I was just
we'll offer food from children, but we'll take food from children, please. We'll take those offers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was, even with Trunks being Vegeta's son, he's still a good kid, and so is Goten, obviously being from Goku's family. And I just feel it's kind of the spirit of, spirit of Dragon Ball in a sense anyway. Even if they were villains, and no, the kids don't know this, but it's even if they did, I think even the kids would be these guys aren't a threat at all, and they're starving. They would have given them the food. Goku would have given them the food. He would have looked at them and, I argue that he might not even remember them. You would say, he's oh yeah, Pilaf, how's it going? Have some food, and not even be phased.
Well, I think it's because, I feel like Goku is in that middle ground between being a complete buffoon but also being very confident in himself. So unless you were Frieza, and I know it's I haven't even seen Resurrection of F, to be fair, but I still feel like when you look at Frieza, right, as a character, because of what he wanted to do, even if it was just Frieza, he would be nice, but he wouldn't offer him food. It's kind of be are you going to redeem yourself? No, I want to kill you. All right, I got to do the same to you. Right? I feel like because of what he did, even it is Goku, so he's going to ask, are you here to redeem yourself? Are we cool now? And if you're not, then he'll want to destroy you. But even then, even with that question, I feel like it's a thing where Garlic Jr., because of how long ago it was and because of how strong he is now, it goes into that weird confident zone where it's kind of immediately give him food. Doesn't matter if he redeems himself. What can he really do now? Not in a jerk kind of way, but it is Goku.
Yeah.
So give him food. We're all fine. He's fine. Once you get up to Frieza, even Raditz, I feel, because of where Goku is now, it's are you here to take Gohan again? Because he can whip, he can beat your butt. It's no. like I feel like he'd still give him a little bit of a benefit. You know, he probably wouldn't remember Nappa, to be fair. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like Goku would not remember Nappa. For some reason, I feel like Goku would not remember Nappa. Raditz, my brother. Vegeta, my greatest rival. Nappa, all right, I remember you.
The bald guy, right?
Yeah. Damn it! I shaved my head. But that'd be great, right? The great reveal is that Nappa just shaves his head. He's not bald.
Yeah.
That would be a twist. That would be the greatest twist. Frieza's back to life? Oh, no. Wait a minute. Nappa shaved his head. Done, done, done. Seriously, though, I feel like, I just feel like I feel like he's very, he cares a lot about people, and so he'd at least ask them. So with Pilaf, right, it's just immediate, no, give him food. It's fine. We're all good. We're all good here, because he knows what can Pilaf do. Even if Pilaf had access to all the weapons in the world.
Yeah.
Unless there's anti-Saiyan kryptonite somewhere.
What can you do?
What can you really do? Hell, even with all of Goku's powers taken away, unless you've taken away his motor skills, he can still do Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Right? You reduce him to the power of the mortal man. What are you going to do? Really? Like, what are you going to do? But anyway.
Yeah.
So, basically, Goku always wins. Even when he's losing, Goku always wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, But anyway, we move on to episode 5, right? So we're on episode 5. I think the episode started off quite slow. I didn't hate it, right? Because, again, as I mentioned before, I didn't hate Battle of Gods. But it's just, the episode started off slow, and then they finally put the fight into the episode, the fight that I think we're all clamoring for, not the specific fight, just a longer fight, right? That we're all like, because, again, I love the slice of life. I'm sure there's some who didn't. I loved it. I love where they were going. But, again, we all are itching for that fight every once in a while. And Dragon Ball Z had one nearly every episode in some capacity or in some form or another. So to not be doing that, we kind of sit there and go, all right, well, let's totally see that fight now. And we have it, but there are some pretty big problems, I would say.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the animation issues. I think they're on everyone's mind that are listening. I know they're on yours and they're on mine. So, okay, right? They're bad. But we do have some understanding of why they existed. All right. So, number one, Toei has a lot. I mean, I know some people might say, oh, you're just trying to defend Toei, you're just a Dragon Ball Z fanboy. Not necessarily. All right. Toei has a lot of anime running at this point in time. So we could just assume that they're being stretched pretty thin. Like, this isn't just one company working on one show. You might only be watching their Dragon Ball Super. But apparently, from what I hear, because actually I hear this from a lot of other people to really understand, because you don't think about it, right? You just think, but this is Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball money, right? Dragon Ball is always doing very well, and I'm not saying that it's not, right? Dragon Ball is always doing very well. Why doesn't it look amazing, right? But even with Dragon Ball, when it comes to animating things like that, if your company is stretched thin, that's the point. It's stretched thin. There's a lot going on right now, and to be fair, Toei has always been known, as much as we love them, always has been known for cutting some corners when it comes to far away scenes or certain points mid-fight. The only difference is that we're not in the 90s anymore, and it is a lot easier to pause and get screen caps.
Right.
Regardless of how you're watching it, even on your television, right? I know, I have a certain package that allows me to pause live television. So I can easily pause television, take a picture right there. Bam. Yeah. That's the problem. So with how easy it is to kind of take these pictures, even just quick pictures, right? Even just quick scenes that really aren't supposed to be, shown. But again, very quick. Doesn't matter, right? If you're able to pause it, it's it's going to be there. And to be fair, they weren't even that quick. Also, like they were kind of lingering, some of them. But before I go on, how did you feel about the animation stuff? Because they weren't errors necessarily. They were meant to be there.
Yeah, it was just kind of a drop in detail, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up on them right away, and I noticed it, and I'm like, that's odd. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's not something I foresee them doing a lot throughout the series. If it's a continual problem, then I might be kind of like, okay, guys, come on,
right?
This is a big series. Let's pick it up a little bit. But
if you didn't have the manpower.
Yeah, I understand. If they're stretched thin, they're stretched thin. And it I think we even said though that they had a few drops in animation, in the quality. But once Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, it feels like maybe in a way they kind of okay, let's save the budget for the big transformation, the one that everyone kind of wants to see him in,
Yes. Yeah, that's my next point. It's our opinion, right? But we feel like certain parts of the fight, because they weren't going to last so long, they may not have put a certain amount of work into them, and they focused on, quote-unquote, what needed to look best.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you look at Super Saiyan 3, and I think you'll see my point, where there was a little bit of a drop, during Super Saiyan 3, but it was very minimal compared to the drop in 1 and 2. Hell, it took them up to him talking about Super Saiyan 3 to even play any music.
Right.
And kind of, kind of promote the fight, right?
Yeah.
And another thing, too, and this is just my third point, and it's just our little opinion, right? It's our little tiny opinion, so it might not be. But personally, I feel like because they're reanimating all this, they just don't have the budget that they had for Battle of Gods, because that was a movie, and 3D was in the movie. As much as I don't enjoy the 3D, it was used in the film. And I think it would have been used here, a little sparingly would have been used here. And by the way, I'm sorry, I should clarify. I don't like the way 3D was used in Beerus versus Goku. I don't know, that's what I mean. But of course 3D is used in a lot of different ways in a lot of different films, animated and live action. And when it's done right, it's blended in a way that you don't even realize that it's being used. I think it's because that I realized it was being used that I didn't really enjoy it, and it seemed foreign to me and into my eye. But anyway, so in this case, you can tell that because they just didn't have that, not even that they didn't have the budget, they just didn't have the amount that they have for movies. It's that simple. You make a movie, you're going to get a bigger budget.
Yeah.
So, especially with the way they were making Battle of Gods, they made it long, they made it, longer than the average Dragon Ball Z film. Theatrical release, both in, the American version didn't exactly include Toei, I believe. I'm sure Funimation had something to do with it, for the American release anyway. But still, the point is that money was poured into this, and they had the money to pour into the movie. The show, of course they had money to pour into it, but I do think that, not only was Super Saiyan 3 the quote-unquote main event of this fight, but I think this fight itself as a whole wasn't even the main event. It's the main event of the episode, yes. But in terms of the actual arc that is Beerus, I think they are waiting, right, until that Goku-Beerus fight. And to be fair, if Goku and Beerus' fight looks like this did, then we can talk. That's what I feel. I'll give it up to Goku-Beerus. Then we can sit here and say, okay, maybe in their eyes the main event is stuff after Beerus, right? But for us, it's, you kind of needed to focus on that, because even if you're stretched thin, even if you're thinking, it's not the big fight, yes, even that fight isn't a big fight compared to what we're going to show you later. You still have to get people invested in your show, and that's why I said the reverse GT effect, where even if people didn't like the plot, again, hindsight, the idea is at least there is something that can make people say, I like it or I don't like it, versus a rehash that people say, I don't like it because I've already seen it, and then you don't get people attached for the new stuff, right? Not trying to defend GT in any way.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. but it's that idea where it's just at least, you know, if you don't like what they're showing you, at least you don't like it like it was shown to you, versus not getting enough people to stick around for the new and the good stuff.
Right.
So that's how I feel about this specifically. So again, we'll talk about it more when, you know, when it actually comes up, which I hope would be a week or two from now, but not a week, but like 2 weeks from now. But I don't know, because they took this entire episode to have that fight. So a lot has to happen next week for it to end the week after. So I think this might go on for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, which is hard because it's hard because you're leaving sooner rather than later, and I'd rather wrap this up before you go. And more importantly, even if we did, it would be even more horrifying to wrap it up and then next week, new stuff. Goodbye, Tristan.
Yeah. I'm going to have a lot of catching up to do. Well, at least I'll have something to look forward to.
Well, when you get back, I mean, it'll be fun. If you can watch it in Africa, that'd be great.
Yeah, okay.
You can. There's about a good 3% chance that you could. But hey, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. There's
but,
still a chance I can beat him. I have to take it.
That moment, you ever get confused sometimes? I know like we both when we watch Japanese stuff, we understand, hey, the shows come out in Japan first. But isn't it always fun when like a show comes out or a movie comes out and it's out in the UK before it is here? And we're like, huh, that's interesting, right? I wonder if it's going to happen with Super. You go to Africa, oh, the series is already done over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire show has been released in Africa when you go there.
Oh, geez.
Like, damn you! You're watching Super right now while you're technically doing stuff for school.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, that would be.
But anywho, that would be great. But also, I forget, and it's been a while. Okay, I hate this. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the movie in 2 years. Damn it, you won. Well, in a year. Like, damn it, you won, Toei. Maybe I should be watching your, watching Super right now with your recap. Did Goku blow up half of or the middle of King Kai's planet in the movie? I feel like he didn't.
No, he did. He definitely did.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he did a shit ton more damage in the movie than he did in the series. I think they toned it back a little bit in the series.
I love that. Actually, it's been toned down for the series.
Because it was like, I feel like in the movie, the explosion took out the other half of his planet. And there was just debris, floating around. In the series, it felt like he left a crater on the other side of the planet. You know?
Right.
I mean, either way, King Kai is going to be pissed, but...
Yeah, right. Either way, this is the problem.
I felt so bad for him. I really did. As soon as he said, Beerus was coming to his planet, I'm like, I'm sorry, King Kai, you're going to lose that thing again.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's going down hard. That's not going to live past the night. But, and then it didn't. And Goku's okay. Right?
Yeah.
Goku's just fine, at least.
Beerus only sent a huge pulse of energy through his body and immediately made him drop out of Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah. That was interesting. That I really liked.
Yeah, that was funny. Movie and series-wise, it's okay, it's a god. I get that. But this is a character we've had through the entire series who, yes, has, had his ups and downs in fights and has, won and gotten the crap kicked out of him quite a few times. But when, your series main hero, who is supposed to be the most powerful, or quote-unquote, the most powerful you know of in the universe, and someone taps his shoulder and he immediately falls unconscious,
yeah,
I shat my pants. I don't care what anybody else has to say. I shat myself.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it wasn't even he punched him in the gut and it just kind of faded off. Kind of like how
say, like, I've been rewatching the original series, when Vegeta and Goku were fighting, when Vegeta was under Babidi's control, and he crossed the back of the head and knocks him out. You know, his powers just kind of fade off of him slowly, and then he's out on the ground. But no, Beerus literally grabbed his shoulder, and it was just gone.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It was
like, oh.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really enjoying that. So, enjoyed seeing that. So I hope, stuff like that's really fun, I think. It's scary to think. Like, it's not like it's fun for us to see, because, it's not fun for the kids, right? But I think it's fun for me to see, because I sit here and I'm like, wow, like, you can show that divide so quickly. And,
right.
and I love the screen effect that they use, too, to kind of show, like, yeah, that hurt.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And, again, the fight I liked, minus the errors that really hurt it. It would hurt. It hurt because I think this episode could have been my favorite, or at least my second favorite, based on the sheer fact that it's like, wow, we got a really long fight to kind of make up for the fact that we haven't gotten them. Yeah. But then it kind of hurt everything by just making sure that, hey, there are going to be some animation issues.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, then.
And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like this fight specifically is not one that you could really drag out, or not drag out, but like add more to it, because it's supposed to be such a quick fight, because Beerus is toying with him the entire time, from start to finish. Completely toying with him.
Oh, God, do you think the main fight's going to be 2 episodes? We're going to get DBZ flashbacks? If this fight was so long, that fight can't be less than 1 episode.
That's entirely possible. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I mean, that's how I felt with this. That's how I felt with this episode. I'm like, oh, yeah, they dragged out. I keep saying dragged out. I don't mean to say dragged out. I know a lot of people would say dragged out. But
because dragged out is a bad connotation. But the idea is they added enough to it to make you think, wow, they really made this fight longer. And to be fair, I think they did a good job by adding in Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They did, Well,
and
I mean,
Super Saiyan 3, he still did it in the movie. I mean, he just was in it longer.
Right. But, by adding it, a bit longer. So, they did somehow manage to find a way to make the fight longer, and it was fun. But again, just the animation stuff is where I think they need to work on, and I hope they do work on, so that for the huge Beerus fight, it's not the same issues. Because I do think that will deter some people, until we get to the stuff that, is like new.
New, right. And I mean, I feel like I wonder what they're gonna do for, like, obviously they're gonna have to rework the fight a bit, because I don't know if they're gonna have the budget to do the 3D effects in the series. Honestly,
they're not. They're not.
Yeah, if they just kept it 2D, I would be completely fine with that.
Yeah, as long as that's the thing is, they're going to do 2D. I'm fairly certain. Then again, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, no. We've been wrong before.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do, 2D. It's just, again, how, and I hope they really put a lot of work behind it. And to be fair, it's not like I'm saying that they're lazy right now. It's just, again, they're spread thin. I'm just hoping that they have the manpower to do it by then. Otherwise, it is going to hurt. It's going to hurt it, because, again, this is your way of, the show already started, so I can't say this is like your prequel. This is like your pre-showing, because the show's going on. But this really is your way to say, like, hey, every episode is your way to kind of showcase, please keep staying.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
It's a showcase. Yeah, it's just like, please keep. So if they, so by doing this, it's really going to hurt when they get to the good stuff, like to the stuff that's, the new stuff. I know this isn't good, but again, it's rehashed. So the new stuff, it's going to hurt, and it would be really horrible if this show got canceled as well. Because look, I understand if the show ends after like 100 episodes or something. I do get that. I just do want the show to last longer than GT. Unless they know, hey, we're only doing 12 and then we're taking breaks. Like we're doing rotations like any other show. I get that.
Right.
It would be funny because again, Dragon Ball Super Season 2, and it's like
Right.
DBSS2, like it's about to get, Dragon Ball Super Saiyan 2. No! Super Season 2. We made that joke before, but I can still get it, right? But if they want to do that whole, like, oh, yeah, keep the show rolling until it drops, which is what they usually do with children's shows. More toyetic shows, but still children's shows in general. But they're like, you know what, yeah, just keep it going until it drops and then done for this point in time, right?
Right.
It's happened with Digimon, Gyro Zetter, the new Marvel show that was in Japan, which I think it did stop, but it went on for a while. Like, it didn't know, like, no one sat there and thought, yep, it's going to end here. No, it just kept on going.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what they did. So I just feel as if, they're going to do it until it's like, yeah, we're done.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't want it to end before GT. That's how I feel. Like, I want it to last. That would be great. 65 episodes. Damn you.
Yeah.
But still, I do think I hope it'll be successful.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it would be upsetting if by the next movie it's not here. Like, like by the next Dragon Ball Z movie it's not. Which I assume would be in another 2 years, I would assume, right? So, by the time the next movie comes out, it's not happening. I'd be like, that's sad,
It's a bummer, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we're pretty much done with the show. Before we go, again, as I mentioned before, Vegeta's on the boat, right? King Kai talks to Vegeta, which is nice, but it's kind of like, hey, so, like I said, all that stuff before with Vegeta, is he coming? Is he not? No, he's here. We're done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But,
and one other thing I had noted, I know I had told you before the show,
what?
Whis' joke about, he's sitting there with the lunchbox, or the bento box. Goku's going through each of his transformations, Super Saiyan, and not enough time to eat. Super Saiyan 2, better, but still not good enough. Super Saiyan 3, thank you for lunch. It's like, I lost it. That was funny.
They still have, pieces of gold in each episode, and that's what I really like, and that was definitely a piece of gold.
Most definitely, and that's what I enjoy. The show is still funny. It's just, it's a good show. It's just that it is plagued with some issues right now that I really think they need to address, because Slice of Life, went on, like, I would have rather them had more Slice of Life rather than doing Battle of Gods again at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, because that's the thing. I was like, hey, Slice of Life, but then we'll rev up for Battle of Gods, and really we've kind of had some fillery, they were canon, but still some more, like, drawn-out episodes up until this episode, which was like, hey, fight! And then animation stuff. So I really hope over the next, 2 to 3 weeks, assuming that, it's going to end in 2 to 3 weeks, God forbid we're doing Battle of Gods another, it goes on for another month from now.
Right.
But I really hope it ends soon. I love it, right? I love Battle of Gods, but I really hope they get to some new stuff soon. It would be a lot more fun that way.
Yeah.
Also, something that I want to mention that was definitely mentioned here, and I really can't recall it being mentioned in the movie. Goku talking about fusion.
That
he said,
the only way we could stand a chance is if we fused.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That
which I think is very relevant.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not saying that. Here's what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying that they're going to turn into Vegito again or Vegeta. That's not going to happen. I'm also not saying that Gogeta's canon, but because of course that was a movie that was not canon. But to be fair, they can still fuse and turn into Gogeta and have that be the first time Gogeta actually appear in the show. And because again, think about it, right? How are they gonna stretch the movie out, right? Like, how are we gonna stretch this movie? How are we gonna stretch the episodes out? You'd probably include fusion and show how even if
Yeah, honestly, that would be a great way to do it. Like, if they needed to add something, that would definitely be the way to do it.
Yeah, no, that would get me hyped, because a Super Saiyan 1, 2, maybe even 3 Gogeta, if it's like, hey, he has the opportunity, he has the ability to, but even a Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta couldn't do anything compared to one Super Saiyan God Goku. And yes, to some, they're like, well, that's the long stretch because, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I agree. It does seem like a stretch, but to be fair, the same thing could be said if Vegeta achieved some type of God mode or some type of power spike like that. You know, although it's really funny to me because in my head, even if Vegeta ever achieved the Super Saiyan God mode, right, even if he ever did, right, with the way Goku is always one step up, hear me out, even the way Goku is always one step above him, it'd still be like a Super Saiyan demigod mode. It would never be. I haven't seen the movie. Shut up! Don't laugh at me.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
I've seen how Vegeta sort of looks different, but I don't know. Still though, in my head, it'd be some shit like that. Where it's like, you know, Goku, I've achieved Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta, I'm 2. Right? Goku, Super Saiyan 4. Ha ha! I've gone past 3 to get to 4.
Yeah.
Your chest isn't as hairy as mine. Look, shut up. Like, there's always something. There's always something that's different. But no, but seriously, giving us, you know, a canon Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta, that still isn't up to par. Like, you could punch him in the face. Like, if you want to show, like, oh, they can put a dent into Beerus, but Beerus could actually still, like, destroy you without killing you. You know, because that's what I would assume. Oh, Beerus can go full power, and a Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta could get really hurt and could defuse, but neither of you would die because you were Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta.
Yeah.
That's how I would look at it, right? Not full power, but the amount of power he went at against Goku when Goku was a god. Right?
Right, yeah.
Like, that's how I would look at it, where it's like, you can't beat him, even if you're combined at Super Saiyan 3, but it's better than, you know, but it's better than dying if he went at that power level, being Super Saiyan 3 by yourself.
Right.
Right. But anyway, so, I mean, that's what, you're right. That's what they could, you know, that would definitely get us into it if they did that. I really think that, you know, that would be a great thing to do. Because it's like, how are you going to make the fight longer? And, you know, if you want to include other people, and, you know, you don't really want to include some of the other people, because if you include them for any longer than they actually were in the movie, they're going to die.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like, everyone's going to die unless your name isn't Goku, Vegeta, maybe Gohan. Even then. Right? Not like
even
Mystic means something, but not a lot.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I mean, hell, think about it, right? Technically, boy, if we're talking about technicalities here, wasn't Mystic, that, you know, that form, whatever you want to call it, I remember hearing Mystic, isn't Mystic technically stronger than Super Saiyan 3? Because when Goku was Super Saiyan 3 and he went up against Majin Buu, well, he was able to beat Majin Buu, but we never saw Super Saiyan 3 up against that middle Buu. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Gohan was technically the strongest in the universe for a second time. And then he was
absorbed. And then Buu was the strongest. Buu!
Yeah.
Yeah. But, anywho.
Yeah, I get my crown back. Nope.
But anywho, so, let's end our show. Episode 5. How would you say it's your favorite so far, or would you say it's your least favorite, somewhere in the middle? Because I'm thinking somewhere in the middle, closer to higher for me.
Yeah, I'm still thinking somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, because even with the animation errors, again, you know, it's their first. I thought it was like, hey, it's the first time they've done something that I really didn't like that I could say, man, that's bad in this series.
Yeah.
Happens again, we'll talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna attack them for it right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's not.
And to be,
it's bad, but it's not like the end of the world kind of thing. You know? It's like, all right, they slipped up a little bit. You know? I'll give them some slack this time. You know?
Yeah, the end of the world's coming soon when Beerus gets on Earth. That's when the end of the world's coming.
Yep.
No, but seriously though, you're right. It's not the end of the world. All right, and also to be fair, they do have a chance to fix it. I'm not saying they should have a chance to screw up and then just be like, yeah, you can fix it. But to be completely fair, they do have a chance to fix it. I mean, it happens.
Right.
Even though this isn't technically an error, I remember for the TV versions of when Ichigo, this was actually the Bound Filler arc. We're talking about Bleach. All right, it's like Ichigo, he's not. No, we're talking about Bleach. when Ichigo turned, he went all Visor-Ed.
Yeah.
You still want to use the word Visor? He went, he put the mask on, and this was during the Bound filler arc, around episode 90. God, why do I remember this? Around episode 90, 91, I think. If I'm right. Anyway, so in the 90s, he when this thing first aired, right? He put on the mask. He didn't have the black in his eye.
Right.
And everyone was like, "What's going on?" If you see it now, you're probably going to catch the DVD release, especially if you buy it.
Right.
Like I did, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see that the black is in because they fixed it for the DVD release.
Right, exactly.
Same thing,
That would be something they would fix for the
yeah.
DVD release.
If they wanted to think, let's actually edit this crap, right? Let's change,
Right.
Let's edit this to DVD. They might not saying they do. I mean, hell, a lot of the DVDs, come out soon. I mean, of course they come out sooner in Japan than they do in America. So, they release them every, 4 episodes, to be fair. But again, hey, this is episode 5. So
yeah,
we probably have to wait a month or 2 from now to see if it's the same exact frames, but in Blu-ray quality. Not Blu-ray, in Blu-ray quality.
Oh, jeez.
That's what I'm saying, right? Imagine that, the same frames, but in Blu-ray quality.
Oh, no.
So I don't think they're going to do that. I think they might end up, changing a few things for the DVD release, Blu-ray release. Same way that a lot of comic books, a lot of digital releases, because they come out so fast nowadays. And some comic books are even released on a weekly basis, which is to my ire, because it's the idea that, hey, you like our comic? Well, pay $3 each and every week instead of the standard month to buy it. And sometimes it'll feel like we're giving you filler because we're doing this on a weekly basis, right? Anyway,
yeah.
So, sometimes they'll have huge errors in terms of, in depth or character, like their eyes or just, certain things about their physical appearance. And then once the graphic novel comes out or the actual physical print edition comes out, which will come out every, month-ish, they'll actually, they'll fix that too. So it's the idea that, this is a weekly, animated show with people that are stretched thin, so there is a chance that it will be fixed. But I understand if someone says, well, I'd rather get them right. I'd rather have them get it right the first time. Right? But again, to be fair, I feel like you should be, as much as anyone can enjoy it from anywhere around the world, it's not, sadly it has not been picked up by Crunchyroll yet, nor Funimation, so you are technically not paying money. You are paying time. It is your time. Right. You are not paying physical money as of yet, or digital money, no Bitcoin, as of yet, to watch these episodes. Once you're, again, I know I sound like, even to me, I'm sitting here, I'm like, really, Matt? Yeah, me. All right? This was through Crunchyroll. This was not Crunchyroll's fault. This was through Crunchyroll, where you have to see ads, with your watching and stuff like that, I get it. Or if you were in Japan and you had to see ads, you have to pay for television subscriptions possibly or things like that to get these channels to watch the episodes and have them look this way. I get it. There, as of right now, we would love to watch through Crunchyroll or through Funimation's actual stream or anything, but they're currently not streaming it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to watch it to the best of our abilities right now as best as we can, and and comment on that.
Right.
Yeah. But that's how I feel about it. Where it's like I understand people saying, "Oh, this is terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible," but you haven't shelled out any money to buy DVDs yet.
Yeah.
This isn't on your DVD release as of yet.
Right.
If it is, I think I'll go along with everyone and go,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, end of our show. We'd like to thank you guys for listening to those guys. Anything you'd like to say before we end the show, Tristan?
I think we're good.
So again, thank you guys for listening in. As you know, we've done a lot of different shows before. If you haven't, well, here we are. We've done a lot of different shows, WWE Raw, WWE pay-per-views. We've also done Dragon Ball Z movies, OVAs, as well as Dragon Ball movies and OVAs. We haven't done the series as of yet, but one day, I'm sure one day, right? We're just, I'm trying to not do each and every one bit by bit, episode by episode, but, I feel like one day you and I can sit here and just go, let's do it. Full-on commentary.
Oh God.
But anyway, so there's so we've done a lot of different shows, as I've said, Dragon Ball Z movies. We also, you and I have done the Bleach movies as well as the Bleach OVAs, which were fun to do. Also, what is it? Also with other hosts, we've done Gotham, Arrow, Flash, Supernatural, Doctor Who, Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Mike Tyson Mysteries, Black Dynamite, Pokemon video games, and so much more. And you can find all these on our website, which is thoseguysonthe.radio.tumblr.com. Also, our Facebook, which we'll constantly update with new shows, /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, @ThoseGuysRadio, our Instagram, /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. And you can find us on iTunes by searching up Those Guys on the Radio, or simply Those Guys Radio, and you should see our picture and a backlog of all of our shows. On YouTube as well, you search up TGOTR, and you should find a lot of our shows there as well. We're constantly updating, but if that's how you end up, that's how you watch you get your media. Definitely check us out on YouTube as well. Also, email us at thoseguysontheradio@gmail.com. We can promote you on our show. Let's talk about different promotional opportunities at thoseguysontheradio@gmail.com. And also, Tristan and I have ourselves, we have a bunch of different things that we've done. Both Satish Ram and I, who we do WWE shows, he and I have done WWE SummerSlam 2005 and Unforgiven 2005, where SummerSlam had Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels, and Unforgiven had John Cena versus Kurt Angle, WWE title. And these are both our exclusive, podcasts that are available on our Bandcamp, which is tgotr.bandcamp.com. And Tristan and I will actually, we did a riff on the Dragon Ball Z episode, the one about Mr. Robot, which I thought it was fun. And we're actually going to be uploading that soon to Maths, Riffs, and Dubs, which is actually another one of our Bandcamp accounts that I will be updating soon with our first exclusive riff. So, yeah. Tristan, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, goodness. Thank goodness. I thought we lost you to the future again.
No, not yet.
I love that. No, I'm still here. I'm still watching Super. All right, everybody. So, it's funny. We're doing this in the middle of the day, so it's like, have a good day. It's really different than usual night stuff, It's like, have a good today. Yeah. Have a good today.
Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.